Helps if I take myself off mute. There we go. I only did it for half a second, though. I caught myself. Well, good evening, everybody. I hope you have all had a Nope, I can't even say fantastic day because I saw that article from Variety. I'm sure most of you saw that article from Variety, and it just... everything that we were worried about, and then some. But because this is Nostalgic Nirvana, we are not going to hit on that, but trust me, there will be videos and live streams and all kinds of fun stuff. I might even go live way later tonight just to talk about that. We will see. So first and foremost, thank you everybody for being here. I see you all in the chat. Eric K, hello, how are you? Raj Williams, Bastard, Professor Logos, Cal G, how's it going? And Project Storytime, hello. Appreciate every single one of you. I think I hit everybody that's in the chat. And hopefully more people roll in. I know that we're about an hour later than I normally do it, but it's been a crazy day for everybody and stuff had to get done. But I'm here, you're here. So let's see what you guys have to say on the donation side. So Bastard for $5 says the stream is cutting into my sleep. Well, it's worth it though, right? Aw, thanks Bastard for being here. I appreciate it. Raj Williams for $7.85 says, looking forward to this book discussion, Lady G. I am too. Oh, and he gives a smiley face. I'm really I'm excited for this. I don't know if you guys could tell from the picture that I took and based off of the I think you can read it's Terry Brooks and Tad Williams, but I don't think many of you are going to know that top book. And that's not because you guys wouldn't like it or anything. It's just I don't think it's something that really you hear about in our sphere or our circles per se. But it was actually something that I really surprisingly liked. So I'm really looking forward to this book discussion. And if you saw, Steve and I, we streamed early this morning, depending on where, so it would have been afternoon if you were over in Europe, or early this morning if you were here in the US, and it would have been way late if you were in Asia, Australia, all that jazz. But we did our Blockbuster Archive stream today, and we went over Das Boot and Dragon Slayer. And then Stieg pretty much he definitely nailed one of them. I will say that. He nailed one of them for sure. But I changed it. I got to keep you all on your toes. So this should be a fun book discussion, and hopefully it will give you guys something new to look for on the shelves. So thank you, Raj. Cal G for $3. Lady Gravemaster, I'm going to get dinged for humming. That's just what I do. It's a tick. Copyright overlords. I missed the part where that's my problem. Isn't that true though, Cal G? Oh man, it is a, yes. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody anymore. I have quirks and I have ticks and I hum all the time. And for some reason, it's always the same 4 songs. So one of these days, I am going to get dinged for sure. Oh my gosh, Lethal for $10 gives me the little ooey face. Oh. Thank you, Lethal. Oh, I'm glad you can make it, even if you're not here technically because you are in Australia. So it's I guess it's right now, what? 10:50 in the morning for you? So that was, thank you everybody for the donations. I will check in on them to see if anybody else, has anything that they want to say. I know that it's you're lurking. It's 12:20 in the afternoon. Okay, well, I'm happy that you're here, Prince Lethal. I miss you terribly so. On Twitter, there's so much that has happened where I'm I need to get Lethal and then I can't because you're not there, and I'm sad and I miss you, Prince of Earth. But I'm glad that you're lurking, and thank you so much for the donation. I really do appreciate it more then I can say. You guys have no idea how much those help, really, truly. Project Storytime, good. Your wife sings and hums all the time? Oh, I'm pretty sure I would drive my husband crazy. Speaking of Lord Gravemaster, he says hello to everybody and hopes that you're all having a fantastic day. And it'll be great. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to this. Yes, bastard. My wrench is still hot from when I was modding for Drinker earlier today. But if you guys didn't know, by the way, so actually before we do anything, because I see him and I'm thinking of it now, and I will you guys know me. I would squirrel if I didn't do this now. Lethal, our good man, has 2 other channels. One is a gaming channel, and it is called Hyper Lethal. And this is where he games and talks about all of the cool, like, G4 TV Twitter suspension is over. Like, this was only 3 weeks ago, and now you're gone forever. But yeah, so this is where you can watch him do video games. He's also over on the Twitch with all of that. And then he's got look, there he is, Prince Lethal. And why am I not? I was a member. I have no idea. I will fix that. I'm not going to fix that right now because everybody would see my information, Lethal. But Lethal Live is now what was his backup channel. It is now his main channel. And as you can see, he's got quite a bit to offer, from the full Aussie just makes me giggle every time I look at it. But he's got a ton of stuff over on his Lethal Live channel. He does his Lethal Talk. It's really great. So it's all good stuff over there. You should definitely go check him out. He's a good egg. So go over and enjoy. Even though he tries to pretend that he's like this, I don't know. I can't really say, like, not bad boy, but he definitely likes to play up being the asshole, as he likes to say. But he's actually, if you can get past all the layers, he's a good egg. Yes, you are a good egg, Prince Lethal. I don't care what you say. So let's see. I'm glad that you're all here. I see a few more people have found their way over. So why don't we get it started in here? No, I'm just kidding. I am going to get hit with a copyright strike. My God, I really need to, but I can't censor myself. I've never been able to do that. Even when I was in the Marine Corps, I had an issue with censoring myself talking to higher ups. It was a problem, as you can imagine. So, first thing is first, the first book that I am going to talk about is the one that I think will be the most surprising to folks, because it's not... I've actually never seen anybody discuss it, ever, that I am aware of. And when this book was brought to my attention, I was actually kind of hesitant, because they're like, yeah, it's the start of its own trilogy, it's really good, and it's this, like, historical fiction, that, you really, really like. So you'll probably, like, love this book. And I was like, well, it says that it's a romance, though. Like, when you read it, it's... I'm just confused, because it's, not my usual shtick, essentially. So hang on, I can do this. Haha. There we go. So it's called The Smoke Thief, and it's actually really, really good. Yeah, no, Eric, I definitely do not want to go full boom master and dox myself. So, Definitely not. But and yes, there's Lethal's channel. Thank you, Miss Martin. Absolutely go check it out. Thank you for dropping that. But this book was really surprising to me because I don't usually go for this type of first book in a trilogy. And it doesn't, it's not like it subverts expectations. It just takes elements. So the MC, our main female character, Clarissa, she's a cat. She would be what if it was set in modern day, she'd be a cat burglar. But of course, because this is a fantasy genre, she's been nicknamed the smoke thief because she can literally, there's like nothing she can't steal. I mean, literally nothing. She's gotten into just about every single safe. Crown jewels are, if she wants them, she takes them. There's basically, like I said, there's nothing she's not willing to take. And she's very elusive. She's very good at what she does. She's not perfect though. And there's the cast of characters in here are actually really, really well balanced. And our male MC, our male main character, Kristoff, he is not, he's not human. He's a supernatural being, but he's like in a very precarious position because humans hunt his kind. They hunted his kind. And so he he went ahead and was like, if she keeps doing this, because she's getting very close to like our clan, our tribe, if we don't stop her, like if I don't catch her, she's gonna expose us and then we're gonna have to go to war again. And so you find out that she's the reason she's so good at being a thief is because she's a halfling. And you're like, oh, that makes sense because like no human could actually be that good at theft. So like it plays into why she's so good as a thief, but he is a full magic creature, a full magic being. And so he's able to catch her. And she's of course extremely discouraged by this. And it's just there's stuff in here that I skip because like I said, it is a romance novel and that's not generally my go-to genre. But I know, like, I think when I was looking up getting ready for this stream, I wanted to see a couple of things because romance genre is big, and I was like, okay, like, just how big is, when it comes to like books, how big is big? And it makes up 80% of fiction novels. You heard me correctly. Like 80% of fiction novels fall under romance in some form or fashion. And the romance genre itself is a $30 billion a year industry. So it's like, I was pretty stunned to find out that some of my favorite books that don't, because usually when I think of romance, I think of the bad stuff. Like I have no other, like, when you hear romance, you think like the half naked dude on the cover and like all that other stuff. Apparently, if it has a happy almost if it has romance, you have to have a happy ending. That's like one of the rules of the genre. And so G-Man, I'm sorry. I don't even know what the beeping is. Hang on. Let me. There, I took off the audio because we're not to the music part yet. My bad, G-Man. Hi, Gilky. But, well, I walk in, Lady Gravemaster's like, no. Like, I'm saying my frame of reference for, romance novels are, like, the whole, like, that section in, like, the bookstore where I don't go, and it's usually got, like, dudes that are bare chested. Can we talk about that for a second, by the way? Like, female gaze, come on, like, we all know it's real. For sure. Okay? Like, Fabio looking dudes on the cover of books. I usually stay out of that section. So I was really surprised that a lot of the books that I do enjoy um are classified as fantasy romance. It it wasn't like shocking because yeah, like they might kiss or they might have like some type of feelings towards each other, but it's not like the hot and heavy nasty stuff that you see on things on books in places that you avoid. Um can you type well, Raj, if I told you she was half human and half the other thing, you wouldn't go pick up the book because it's let me see. So I will tell you this: there are dracons in this book, and yes, I said that correctly. So it it is yeah, it's there's so much in this book that is so good, and it pulled me in to read the next two, and that was sort of the whole point of the books that I chose because this isn't, like I said, this isn't something that I've ever really heard talked about by anyone in our group or in like in our fellowship or anything like that. Um and so it was it was something that it pulled me in because it was so someone suggested it to me, but the cover art was actually a little bit unique. And it was kind of like I enjoyed how it was you were curious about why is it called the smoke thief? Why is it a dragon like encircling the title? You've got the jewel, you've got the gem above the eye. So like this this cover had obviously had care put into it. And so it really helped kind of pull me in. And when when I read it, I was not disappointed. Now this may or may not be your thing. Like I said, this is probably the one that's the most out there for just about everybody that I know. But this is about being able to, grow and enjoy things and find new things that you might love. So, I do recommend The Smoke Thief, especially if you're a historical fantasy. If you're into historical fantasy like I am, you're gonna really enjoy this because she does like the detail of London, of like historical London and um things like that are actually pretty spot on. Like they do I believe the way you pronounce the name is Abba, does a pretty decent job of weaving in all of that historical accuracy, which if you're writing historical fiction or historical romance or historical fantasy, you have to make sure you pay attention to those and you weave them in properly because it's it's important to the story. It's part of your setting. It's part of what's going to take place. Like well, like this is where everything's happening, so you want it to be as accurate as possible because otherwise, people will fall out of your story. I did too, Faye. Actually, the first time I saw it, I thought it was a mirror. I really did think it was a mirror. And it's it was really, like I said, it was something different and not really um not really the norm that I would go for. So to I was pleasantly surprised with it. There's some action in there. There's, of course, there's some drama. She's trying to help save the entire race of the Drakons. Like um it's really it's filled with a lot of good tropes, and it doesn't try to subvert expectations or subvert tropes. They just wrote them well. So it's definitely something like this is a book that I can finish in about 2.5, 3 hours. It's not very long. Um, I think it's only like 320 pages. So it's definitely a great quick afternoon read for the first book. You'll be in good hands. So it's yeah, it's just great to see. The Kindle, hello, Kindle's missing Y chromosome. Is the series unbreaded though? You know what? That's an excellent question. I'm gonna go with yes. I'm gonna go with yes. So it's good stuff. Um, it's does Chris Persia? Did I miss Chris? Chris Persia. Hi, Chris. How are you? I saw Eric say hi to you, so hello, Chris. It's wonderful to see you. And Legionist, I don't want to talk about that stuff. I am saying that I was surprised that a lot of the fantasy novels that I like fall under the umbrella of like fantasy romance. So that's what I was surprised about. I don't want to talk about that stuff though. If you want to, by all means, you and Bastard can go chitty chat about that stuff. But it's a great, I do highly recommend The Smoke Thief if you're looking for just like a quick afternoon read that is a little bit different, not something that we normally, like I said, not something that I've heard talked a lot about. And it may not be your thing, and that's totally fine. It really is. But like I said, I was just really, really happy with what I got to indulge myself in and experience. And that's what this is really all about, is enjoyment. So you're declining that offer? Oh, okay. Shocking. So that is the first book that we have. And I think this next one is not going to surprise anybody that has listened to me talk about it before, or followed, like, sees me tweet on Twitter at all or anything like that. The next one is The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. And I cannot. So the Shannara Chronicles, there's several Shannara books. Like there's a ton. But you can't even begin, like I can't even begin to describe how fantastic the Sword of Shannara is. I am just, and yes, this is a trilogy of books, because so it's the Sword of Shannara, and then it's the Elfstones of Shannara, and then it's the Wish Song of Shannara. There we go. And each of them are around, I want to say like 450 pages, 500 pages. So you get like a really decent read, and it's so incredible, and the storytelling is just it's just something that you can completely lose yourself in, and really just go on these adventures. I mean, the intrigue, there's magic, there's battles, there's evil sorcerers, there's, oh my god, like you've got I wouldn't say that he's necessarily the unwilling hero, but he's definitely like he questions his own role, his own like, should I actually be here? Why isn't it someone that's actually uh been trained? Like, why is it me? Why does it have to be me? And guys, I gotta tell you, the end of this story, the end of this first book, is just freaking phenomenal. Okay, like this. So the Sword of Shannara is the sword. It's the sword of truth. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm like blowing anybody's mind there. But this thing is powerful, and it's not because it's not because it shoots lightning or because it has some uh it like ability to light itself on fire or rip dimensions. It makes you face who you really are. And if you can face who you really are and accept yourself and not lie to yourself, you'll be able to wield the power of the sword, which is incredibly it like it I can't say that it makes people face their greatest fear, but it makes people like face themselves. And it's so just rich in lore and history. Like you really feel like you have stepped into another world. The world building is fantastic. It was oh, I don't know. I can't I cannot say enough good things about Terry Brooks. Um there is a series. Please don't watch it. It was not good. They've yeah, just don't do it. I don't even know what that was. Because it was not Terry Brooks's Sword of Shannara. Like it was not at all. Um but it's you've got oh my gosh, you have the Vale, you have the mountains, you have just hang on, let me look. Like I don't want to miss anything cuz there's so much lore to this book that you need the map. You need the appendices. Like you need to know what's going on because you've got of course the Druid's Keep, you've got Paranor, oh the Rad Plains, you've got Eastland, Northland, Southland, you've got Westland, and then Trissus, the Mountains of Rune, the Valley of Shale, Storlock, like all of these places, and then of course Skull Kingdom and Skull Mountain, and then you've got the Knife Edge Mountains where the final scenes, the final battles are in the first book are fought. But all three books are fantastic, and there's so much there's so much there for everybody. You like I said, there's magic. There is a little bit of romance, but there's intrigue and there's excitement. There's abject failure in this book. Like it's bad. But then you get to see like a true hero's journey and a true like it's an actual heroic moment. Like he overcomes himself. There's and you're like, what's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna do this or is he gonna do that? I don't understand. And like this book almost reads like an epic poem. Almost. It's very if I had to compare it to anything else in existence, you can definitely see inspirations from Tolkien in here, and Terry Brooks has said that obviously Tolkien's works inspired him greatly. But I would almost put this on par with like the Odyssey as as epic poetry. It's really just its own creation, and it's freaking phenomenal. You will like you're gonna have a hard time putting this one down, and you're gonna want to go to the next book, and you're gonna want to go to the next book. And there's so much that you just every time you read the book, you learn something new about somebody else. And so I can't recommend this more than like my highest marks, because it's got so much going for it. It really does. So I don't know. It's oh, I wish everybody could read this, because or would read this, because it's so good. And it's not, and guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a it's a high fantasy. It's this isn't going to be like a quick afternoon read. You have to pay attention, because little details at the beginning of the book that you don't think really matter become enormously important later on in the book, and even into the second novel. And so it's it doesn't Terry Brooks doesn't write fluff. There's nothing in these books that isn't directly relevant or necessary for the story. And it's a timeless story. It really is. It is good versus evil. It is facing who you truly are, and can you accept that maybe you're not the greatest. Maybe you're not the most powerful. Maybe you aren't what you're meant to be. And can you accept that and still try? This book is it will blow your mind. And then of course when you get into the whole so seamlessly, because you go from Sword of Shannara to Elfstones of Shannara, and it all makes sense. And now you're realizing why that little bag in the Sword of Shannara was so important. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is a callback to this, and this is why this is here, and the sword, and there's the seamlessness that he writes this story with is on par with Lewis or Tolkien, or I dare say, though I've not read him, I think that he's probably a better author than Martin, George R. R. Martin, for sure. And I mean, he did, like, Terry Brooks also finished his stories, so there's that too. We'll have to get that little dig in, but I don't think anybody is really surprised to know that this is one of them. But this is truly, there are sci-fi elements in this book, because you're like, what do you mean you have to do this, you have to go here? So like the fact that he's able to weave sci-fi into his story, and it doesn't detract from the fantasy, from the sorcery, from the magic, that really tells you just how incredible um his storytelling skills are, and how fantastic of a story this is. So if you get the chance, please pick up the Sword of Shannara from a thrift store, a bookstore, your local library. Maybe you'll be able to find it somewhere on the internet. I would always recommend that you support small businesses and local businesses, and shop your local bookstores, your comic book stores. I've seen some of them selling manga and novels as well, which I think surprises nobody either. But definitely give this one a chance, because it is very much its own creation. It was just, it's masterfully written, and there's no other way to truly describe this book. Now, before I get to my last one, I have seen in here a couple people bringing up the another favorite of mine. I'm not gonna lie, I love the Dragonlance series. They are they're fun. They really are. Um, I I I think my favorite one is Winter Night. Um, but you've got what, Autumn. Hold on, I think I have it here. Here we go. Um, so now they do, of course, they have oh, I'm gonna screw it up. It's a summer one. Um, So yeah, so you've got Autumn Twilight, Winter Night, and Spring Dawning. And they did make a fourth one, but this is like a complete trilogy. But there is now a fourth one. Summer Flame. That's what it's called. It's come to my brain. Yes, Legion, like right when it hit my brain. Yes. Summer Flame, that is the fourth one. So you have that one as well. So this is an excellent trilogy. Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman do a fantastic job. They're a phenomenal team. And there's a lot of Dragonlance books. The series is not it's not just these 3 or just these 4 now with Summer Flame. You have the one that I actually found first when I was in my library looking for something to read is actually the second book in the War of Souls series, which is Dragons of the Lost Star. And I was like, well, this seems like an interesting read. I need to find the first one and let's and give it a read. And of course now I can't find it. Hang on. I will get it. Copyright overlords, please don't strike me. I don't even think that's a real song. I'm just making up tunes now. But it's The War of Souls is also a great saga. Dragonlance, it's hard to go wrong. So yes, Dragon of Deceit, it does come out this summer. So look at this, Legionist. You and I are gonna have to talk Dragonlance sometime. But I do highly recommend the Dragonlance series, and there's multiple. Like I said, you've got the Dragonlance Chronicles, which are these ones, including Summer Flame. And then you've got the War of Lost Souls, which is this one. What's the twin one? There's twins. Legionist, do you know which one? Second, yes. Woohoo! Second Generation is great. That's another good one. Hang on, let me see if I can pull that up. But here we go. Second Gen. Really, this is good stuff. This is, if you are a fantasy fan and you enjoy tabletop games as well, if you enjoy RPGs, you will enjoy these books. They read like a tabletop game almost. Not all of them, but you're definitely you have your, I don't even really want to call them tropes. I mean, I know that they are, but okay, so the best way to describe these books, I guess, would be everybody knows their role and they fulfill that role to a T. Perfectly fulfill that role. There is Dragonlance Legends are about the twins. Okay, that's right. I could not remember. See, guys, there's Dragonlance. I could probably dedicate a month worth of streams to the Dragonlance different series because there's so many and they are all so fantastic. So yeah, this is definitely an honorable mention because I saw you guys talking about it in the chat. Oh, Abigor, I'm so sorry that I didn't see you put this first. Yeah, Legends. So it's so, like I said, it's everything that you expect, but it exceeds your expectations when it comes to these books. It's that is the best way that I can describe. It's, yes, Time of the Twins, War of the Twins, Test of the Twins. So those are the 3 books for the twins, the Legends. You guys won't be disappointed with the Dragonlance series, whichever one you pick up. It doesn't matter if it's Second Generation, Legends, War of Souls. Chronicles, they're all fantastic. And they all really do build off of each other really, really well. There's a lot to love, and like I said, it's everything that you are expecting, but it's done with respect and to perfection, and nobody's trying to be something that they're not. You know what I mean? You're very aware, like, anything that happens in this story, it's you believe that that character would make that decision or would go down that path or would pick up that weapon. Like, there's not anything that's, again, they don't try to subvert expectations. They try to exceed expectations. And I desperately, desperately miss um stories like that, because we are at an age where, you know, subverting expectations is now like the code speak for, oh, we know we couldn't do this book, like we couldn't follow this book to a T because it would have been too much work. So we're going to go ahead and just, not only are we not going to meet your expectations, we're going to completely and utterly obliterate your expectations and just go as low as we possibly can. So it's a good relief to find stories that don't do that. So yes, we got the honorable mention in of Dragonlance, which I was not expecting to talk about, but I do actually own. I own the War of Souls trilogy, and I own Chronicles. I don't own Legends, but I should fix that. I definitely should. And yeah, just guys, you will not be disappointed. Like, look at this. Look at, I don't know how well you got. Hang on, let me blow this up. Look at that cover work. Look at that artwork. It's just, it screams fantasy. It screams epic fantasy. It screams greatness. Like, this is stuff you want to pick up and read because you're like, man, who are these characters? And like, where are they going? What are they doing? What is this about? I want to know. So, I mean, I love this cover art. Now, speaking of books that I love and cover art that is fantastic, my last book of the evening that I cannot recommend enough, and is actually part of the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series, is Tad Williams' Dragonbone Chair. Look at that art. It's, yes, Redneck Gringa, there's no keys anywhere at all. Thank the good God Almighty. Like, you're gonna give me flashbacks. Gonna start freaking out. Yes, but this also has classic artwork, and the Dragonbone Chair, it's okay. I am not I'm not a voice actress, so bear with me, but I am going to read you the back of this book. So this book from Bastard. Why you gotta be so mean? But I'm going to read you the back of the book because I actually found this book when I was, what year is it? 2022? I was looking for something that could sort of get me out of the 2016 sludge of non-entertainment that they were forcing at us. But here we go. Sorry, I know, but just bear with me. All right. I'm going to try and do this as professionally as possible. Okay. A war fueled by the powers of dark sorcery is about to engulf the peaceful land of Ostenard. For Prester John, the High King, lies dying, and with his death, the Storm King, the undead ruler of the elf-like Sethi, seizes the chance to regain his lost realm through a pact with the newly ascended king. Knowing the consequences of this bargain, the king's younger brother joins with a small, scattered group of scholars, the League of the Scroll, to confront the true danger threatening Ostenard. Simon, a kitchen boy from the royal castle, unknowingly apprenticed to a member of this league, will be sent on a quest that offers the only hope of salvation, a deadly riddle concerning long-lost swords of power. Compelled by fate and perilous magics, he must leave the only home he's ever known and face enemies more terrifying than Ostenard has ever seen, even as the land itself begins to die. My God, I was like, yes, I need to read this. Yes, it is a wraparound cover. Yes, it is, Legioness. And they adjusted this. It's a full wraparound, but I love it. Here is, if you want to see what it looks like on the book cover, I will show you. This is how it appears on the book cover. And you can see it wraps around right there. So this is a full wraparound cover. It does, but I wanted to show it all to you guys. So that's what that looks like. And yeah, these are the original covers. I think that they have been updated and modernized and stripped down. In fact, I think I've seen it where it just has like a sword hilt on the cover. And it really is just an injustice to the book itself, because look at, like, I am far more intrigued by this than a sword. I'm just saying. So it's good stuff. Abigor, I think you will absolutely love this series. It's good stuff. I didn't know that he did I had no idea that the cover artist was that prolific. That's awesome though. I wish Stieg knows all these things. Like, he would be able to just like tell you the name and like birth date and all of that stuff. And I can't do that. I need to up my game. But the next two for in this particular series for Tad Williams is Stone of Farewell is book 2, and then To Green Angel Tower is part 2 of like book 3. There's, I think, 4 books. I'm trying to remember. No, I think it's just for this one, it's the Stone of Farewell and then To Green Angel Tower. So, it's, yes, George R.R. Martin actually wrote a thing here. It says, it's inspired me to write my own 7-book trilogy. It's one of my favorite fantasy series. George R.R. Martin. So it doesn't surprise me that he took elements from these books and put it into his. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones. I've not watched the show nor read the books. It's just not really. I tried. Lord Gravemaster desperately tried to get me to like the books. It was just never something that like pulled me in. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just, it did not strike a chord with me. That is the best way that I can describe it. But Tad Williams, I mean, there's very little that he has written that I haven't loved. Where Terry Brooks is very much it's a running joke, Raj. It's a joke. So the Dragonbone Chair, so it's Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn is actually a trilogy, but then he wrote all of these like other books, and so like just think they like expand upon the trilogy and such like that. So yes, there's like 7 books in the series, but like you could read the main 3 and be fine. I hope that kind of makes sense. So it's a running joke. And then Martin hasn't even finished his books, so it's not even a funny joke anymore. I already did the honorable mention for the Dragonlance series, and like I said, these are just 3 of my favorite books that I really love to dive into. It's not that it's not that they're better necessarily than others, but they're just books that I can read over and over and over again. So this particular book, the Dragonbone Chair, I think is, hang on, I've got it right here. So yeah, if we take out the appendix, it's 635 pages. So that's a good 2-day read. Or if you want to sit down in the morning and just read all day, it's a full day read, and it's great to take on car trips, as long as you're not driving, of course. But this is something that you can easily get lost in. But it's I think the fastest I've ever read this book is, I want to say like 7.5 hours is how long it took me to read the book, and that's with stopping and whatnot. But yeah, so there's a lot to love about that. And so those are my 3 books that I can read over and over and over again, and they're not, because if I just picked like 3 of my favorite books to read of all time, it would of course pretty much all be Tolkien. Maybe I might throw in some Lewis. Brian Jacques, like, have you guys ever read Redwall? I love that book too. So there's a lot to read. I mean, between these 3 books alone, we've got 635 pages, 324 pages, and then 434 pages. So that is, almost 1,300 pages of reading from 3 different series, and they all have, or from 3 different books, and they're all part of a series. They're not just standalone books. So there is a lot to love and a lot to go out and read and enjoy and immerse yourself in. So I would have to say something that my husband actually turned me on to. It was, I want to say, oh gosh, I'm gonna, hold on, my bad. See, this is what happens when I try and throw something in at the last second. The So it's, oh god, it's Eric is it Eric Stevenson? Hang on. But like I said, there is actually a crap ton to love out there. And the more that you look, the more you're going to find, because it doesn't have to be written in the past 5 years to enthrall you or interest you or be worth picking up. So it's Christopher, you have to reply to anyone that can read 600 pages in a day or 2. 4 days, that's not slow. It's that's not slow at all. If it takes you 4, like, that just means you get to enjoy it for longer. I'm actually kind of jealous. Maybe I should slow down. There's, like I said, there's so much to love, and I really want people to understand that it's not because um I don't know. Like it isn't because I think that you need you need to read them as fast as possible. That's not my point. I hope that's not how that comes across. What I mean is that whether regardless of your level of reading, um regardless of how quickly or however, like if you feel you read slowly, however you read, this is something that you are going to be able to enjoy for any length of time. Um, I know there's so many great books out there. I wish I could, I don't know, like share them all with you because there's just so much to love. But um I can't I want to say his name is oh god. I can't think of his name. Um it's Eric something. I keep seeing Eric K's name and so but like his name is not Eric K. Um I can't for the life of me. Oh well. I'll remember it one day and then I'll just post it up and it'll be fine. Um it's But, the Dragonbone Chair, is the first in the series, and it's the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. I highly recommend you pick it up. The whole series is definitely worth the read. It's worth the time, and it'll be something that I think you'll truly enjoy. And as we go back, the Dragonlance series are all fantastic. Definitely give them a look. Sword of Shannara, you will not be disappointed. There's it is an entity all onto itself. It truly is. How do I feel about audiobooks? I love audiobooks. I listen to them when I'm really doing um like cross country drives. It's really nice, especially because sometimes like even when it comes to Tad Williams, cuz I've not listened to a whole lot of audiobooks if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Because I am usually listening to music when I read, and I'll share with you guys some of the music that I listen to depending on the books that I'm reading. But even with like Tad Williams, I don't know if it's actually pronounced Austenard. Like that's how I'm saying it. So I think that the audiobooks are really great because you get to hear how names are actually pronounced and how like locations and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of audiobooks. Plus, I found out the other day, which this was kind of shocking for me, that not everybody has voices, like an internal voice in their head. So like when they read, they don't really hear anything. And I was like stunned to find out this is quite a bit of the population. Um they have no like internal voice. So audiobooks are great for those people who sort of need that narration to help them really get engrossed in the books. And those are a lot of people you hear talk about how they would rather wait for the movie to come out because they just can't get into the book. And I found out that that's actually because they don't have like an internal narrator. So, oh, bye, Lethal. I will DM you later. Don't you worry. We are on for the weekend. Fear not. I got you. Um, yeah, it helps your brain with the problems. Kisses, Lethal. Bye. Uh, the I love listening to old radio shows while I drive to like The Shadow. Yeah, like that's awesome. Um, it's it's great stuff. So I'm a big fan of the audiobooks. Anything that can help people get more into reading, I am a big fan of it. I 100% support anything that helps you get more into reading. So, Anonymous, what I would recommend for you if you're being serious, because I feel like you can read, But if you're saying like you need visuals, make sure when you're reading fantasy, you get stuff with maps and appendices and cover art like this that can really help you determine character features and like what the sword looks like and stuff like that. So that's another reason why I recommend books that have actual art on them and not just keys with a chess piece or just the hilt of a sword. As you can tell, I'm a little bit bitter about modern book covers. If you want to know more about what I think about that, Steve and I did a stream a few months ago about how book covers have gone from brilliant to bland, all for the sake of modernization. It's terrible. And then, of course, the last one, The Smoke Thief. It's, like I said, this one's probably going to be the most out of everybody's sort of realm of familiarity. It's just it really is the most different, out of, especially compared to Terry Brooks and Tad Williams. It is the most different out of the books that I've brought up. So the series is the Draken series. So this is the first book. The second book is The Dream Thief. And that one is like, it builds really well off of the first one. It does. But I prefer the first one. I'm not gonna lie. The second one's not bad. The third one is really good. So I do like. I think you can get these for relatively you can find them at your library. Like I said, pick them up at your local bookstore. It'll be they're a good afternoon read. God help us if they ever try to turn them into a series though, because that would be a CW disaster. From I think so you've got The Dream Thief, and then I think the third one is The Queen of Dragons, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've read the third one. But they're really good. So, I don't know. Some people have told me that there's a fourth and a fifth book. I've never read them. So I can't say one way or the other. But The Smoke Thief and The Dream Thief and Queen of Dragons were all pretty good. And like I said, there might be more, but I don't know for sure. But I can read those and look into them and let you guys know what I think. Yes. Oh, Andy Masterson, I just make time. I really do. ADD, my mind runs in several directions, but video and pictures like comics hold me in place. Yeah, I hear you on that. That's why a book has to be exceptionally engaging, and that's part of the reason why I do this. I listen to music when I read. So, Audio Machine has got some great stuff. But I basically, the music it really helps keep you on track. It blocks out the noise from the world, the distractions. It's a great time. And it really helps me to focus. So there's a lot to love, especially when it comes to music. And because I see other people are a fan, Two Steps from Hell is, we won't do Battle Cry. We'll just do a normal Two Steps from Hell. Oh, it's just so good. I'm gonna get hit, but it's okay. We'll cut this out. But you guys have probably heard a lot of Two Steps from Hell without realizing it, and that's okay. You know, when you find music like this, or you find series that you love, you just want to share it with people, and so that's what this is for. And it's so, like I said, this just helps immerse me into whatever story it is that I'm reading. And you know, Anonymous, I would recommend maybe give this a shot sometime. It's a great way to sort of battle that ADD and help you focus. I know that sounds sort of like counterproductive, because you're like, well, you've got the music going and you've got the story and you've got the book, like, but it really does help. It helps you fall into the story and into the book and really enjoy it. It's just phenomenal, and it's my favorite way to read. They've not read Earthsea, Chris Persia, but they should. I like the Earthsea story. So the Wizard of Earthsea is really good. So yeah, I can definitely let them give that a shot. Thanks for that. I'll dig that out because I have it. But I just wanted to show you guys that there's a lot to love out there. And no matter how you read, whether it's assisted with audiobooks or music like myself or something of that nature, everybody reads a different way. Some people need pure silence when they read. I'm not one of those people. Like, can I do it? Sure, of course, absolutely. But this is something that I can't help recommend enough, because it really did help me continue to enjoy. It's escapism, and it's wonderful. So I hope that you guys were maybe a little bit surprised, pleasantly so, by the books that I suggested. And you know, the idea that you can read while listening to music. Like I said, Audio Machine and Two Steps from Hell are incredible. They have incredible selections that I cannot recommend enough. And they'll just help immerse you into the story. And the best part of it is you are the director, you are the maestro, you are the architect of your own escapism bubble. You get to decide what that music is. You get to decide what the story is, how you're going to read it, when you're going to read it, and really just immerse yourself in that experience, and it'll make you love the books even more. If you've not read the Lord of the Rings books to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, highly recommend that you do. It's just another way to experience the books. It really is. And the best part is when you find a book that you love and you find a music track that matches it and really puts you into that zone. It's an it's the epitome of enjoying your escapism. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I will see you all this weekend. Miss Martin Muses has got her Lord of the Rings Tolkien stream. We're doing the Return of the King still, and then after that we're going to do the Silmarillion. And Saturday night or Sunday morning, depending on where you're at, on my channel this time, because Lethal got booted, we are doing our Sailor Moon stream, volume 5. So it's really it's going to be a great weekend, and I've got lots of Lord of the Rings stuff vids and live chats of that coming up too. Oh, thank you, Faye. I really do hope you enjoy the book recommendations. I've thoroughly enjoyed them for sure. Try Deed of Paxenarian, author's former military classic paladin tale. I love paladin tales, so I will definitely, let me write that down. Pen. I hope it's not dead. Okay, so Deed. Of course it's dead. Hold on. Sorry, I'm narrating me looking for pens and paper. Deed of Paxenarian. Fantastic. Elizabeth Moon. Got it. All right. Thank you, Redneck Gringa. I appreciate that more than you can say. I always appreciate book recommendations. I love to read, so by all means. Oh gosh, Raj, I'm glad you thought it was great. I hope that I know this was a little bit of a different kind of stream, but still a really great stream. And like I said, this channel is going to focus on books, games, film, music, different places or experiences that I love and enjoy, and hopefully will help you discover something you love and enjoy. So I hope all of you have a great night. We've been at this for about an hour and 15. Thank you, everybody who donated. I cannot tell you how much it means to me and how much I truly, truly, truly appreciate your support and the fact that you guys are here. So I can't wait to talk to you guys. I might do another really early live stream tomorrow morning. And because, like I said, there's so much to talk about. But not on this stream, because this stream is for us, and I will gatekeep the heck out of these streams because this is for what we love. So good night, God bless, thank you all for coming, and I will see you soon.